All right, that's a good transition to call on stage Fleur Pellerin, who is the Minister of Startups and New Technology of France. Welcome, Fleur. There's a lot of chairs. Bienvenue,
Hi.
Fleur.
Hello. Thank you.
Hello. Please. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I feel like I'm with my shrink, actually, on this big sofa here.
Yeah, it's because we have all those super rock stars with long shoes.
Yeah, very amazing.
Yeah,
I don't have long shoes.
Absolutely. So we played with Mindy backstage.
I know, yeah.
What do you
think?
think?
Well, I think it's a great, I think I'm going to download it as soon as I get off stage.
It's cool, but you see, he doesn't even want my money. That's so sad.
Well.
Do you think the government should invest in startups like that?
Well, sometimes the government does, actually, not in startups like this one or in many kinds of startups. We just invested through the Banque Publique d'Investissement, the French public investment bank in Withings, for instance, which is a great company which does smart objects, Internet of Things. So yes, sometimes I think it's good if we invest, if the state invests good money in startups that will build the growth of the future.
But is it do you think to help them, or is it to keep some of it in France?
No, I think it's just, we have a problem of financing in France, but not only in France, I would say in Europe. And when you compare the volumes that are invested or raised in Europe and in the States, it's a 1 to 8 factor. So we need money to finance the growth of startups in France. And sometimes it's nice if Grégoire has found some money with VCs or angels. Yeah, it's good for him in the States, but I wish we could, these companies could find some money in Europe too, or in France. So yeah, it's good if the state can leverage. That's what Israel did, actually, when they created their public funds a few years ago, and that's the way they attracted American VCs in Tel Aviv, and how they built their tech scene. So I think it's good if you don't think that you are the private sector, but if you can leverage private investors and de-risk their investment in startups, I think it's a good move.
How do we keep Grégoire in France?
Well, I was suggesting I could tie him to my heater in my office. That would be a first solution. I don't know if it would be very good.
We have chains.
Yeah,
here.
I'm considering that option. And the other one is to work as a government to...
Tim, can you please detain Grégoire backstage?
Yeah, please. I'm calling the police right now.
He lost his passport, yes. He did.
No, but the best thing would be to try to boost and support the venture capital industry in France, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work on various aspects of the environment of startups, because my great ambition, and this is a scoop, is to make France a startup nation of Europe. So we need to work on the environment, the culture, the mindset, as soon as in schools. Change the way people in France see risk-taking, see failure.
And you want to teach entrepreneurship in schools?
Well, you won't teach in entrepreneurship, but what you can teach is not to fear to pitch in front of your friends, is not to fear to take some risk and to risk failure if you can rebound afterwards. So this is a whole mindset. It's not very easy because you don't clack your fingers like that, and everybody wants to take risk and become entrepreneurs in their
But
souls.
maybe don't you think in Europe most people think it's too complicated? And it's not. I mean, it's not. It is. You get it. It is. But if you don't try, you don't get anything. And most people, like, how do you make the young people think that instead of looking for a job, they should create their own job?
Well, it's something that needs to change in the culture. I went to business school, actually, and it was a long time ago, because I'm old. But when I was back then, when I was in that business school, it's true that we were anticipating that we would be working with Ernst & Young or Arthur Andersen at that time in big companies, that you would be a salaryman in a big company, and you never thought that you would create your own company. And it's changing over the years. Now you have tuitions on entrepreneurship. it's been for the last 10 years, so it's quite new. And if you ask people, students, many of them now want to create their own business. And if you look at countries such as France who have a problem with unemployment, well, creating your own activity is one of the solutions, obviously. So we need to work on the culture, because too many people censor themselves. They think, well, no, I'm not going to be able, or I might fail, so I won't take the risk. I prefer the security of having of working in a big company, CAC 40 company.
Yeah.
But things are changing, and I think you can change the mindset when you teach to young children, you know, in kindergarten or in primary schools. Well, just to experiment, to try, to fail, to try again, and that's something you can really put in the programs, or, you know, teach when children are small. And I think it's very useful. It can, like that, you can say it's something which is not very important in terms of policy making, but I'm sure it's very, very important. And to organize Falcon, I'm trying to organize a Falcon.
A conference about failure?
Exactly.
Wow.
I'm not supposed to say Falcon because I think it's a trademark. Yeah.
Careful,
it's
Fleur.
true. I know. Probably people will criticize the move, but I'm sure
that's very French of you
to
say that.
No, but I think it's very useful, because people need to see that you can take risks. You can fail once, and then you have the right to rebound, and you can have the second chance. So that's one part of the work I'm doing. The second part is to work on the financing, because obviously we have a problem with that.
So before you get to that, get ready for some questions. If we can have microphones ready, because we'll take questions from the room as well.
Sure.
Which you asked, which is great. I like the openness and the conversation. So yes, please keep going. Tell me what.
So I'm working on the financing on the French level, but also on the European level. But because I think we have some money in Europe, the European Investment Bank has a lot of money, billions of euros, and probably they should use that money to create pan-European funds or funds of funds to be able to finance companies which need 5 to 10 to 100 million euros, and these kind of amounts are not easy to find in Europe right now. It's easier if you go to the States, but in Europe it's a difficulty.
Do you think the state should remain a minority shareholder, or do you think sometimes you need to get in control in a majority position?
Well, the policy...
Or even own it, why not?
No, the policy of the Public Investment Bank is to be a minority shareholder and really to leverage and to de-risk the investment of other companies. And I think in fast-growing companies, it's a good policy to de-risk the investments. So that's an important point. And I think the most important part is to work on the ecosystems, because if you look at what's happening in Tel Aviv, or if you look at what's happening in the Silicon Valley, my aim is not to create the Silicon Valley in France. It has absolutely no sense, because the Silicon Valley was created not, in just one day, and you don't decide that you're going to create that. It's a whole synergies, culture, history, etc. So my goal is to create the ecosystem factor, the network factor, because whenever startups are successful, and actually in America, in the States, I think 23 companies, very successful, world leaders, are less than 20 years old. In France, you don't have 20 years old great champions, world champions. So to create that, you need to have entrepreneurs who have already succeeded and who can commit in the success of the champions of tomorrow, who can coach them.
Backstage.
And we have them right now. So we have this generation of entrepreneurs who can now coach, advise, invest in
well,
these
if they
startups.
let you invest. Sometimes they don't.
Well, it's good. It's a good sign, actually.
Yes.
It's good for him. But so I really want to create these accelerators all over France, because we have great tech scenes not only in Paris but all over the country, and create these synergies between those entrepreneurs who have already succeeded and who can give some precious advice and invest in the champions of tomorrow. And I think it's this synergy where you have startups, big companies, investors, angels, venture capitalists, the universities, everybody in a real network. And that's how things work usually. So I'm trying to create that.
Anything else you're working on that you want to share, or do you want to move to questions?
No, I think it's important in terms of also to communicate about our champions, because we have some. Jean-Baptiste Trudel was right here, so we have Criteo. You could have we could talk also about Deezer, who raised a great amount of money, about Withings, about Sigfox, about many French tech companies who are very successful. So we have the talent. France has got talent, actually, and we need to communicate a bit more about these successes. I was quite amazed when I went to Tel Aviv, because a journalist told me, but you don't have any startups in France. We don't know the name. I can't name any startup, French startup. And I said, we have plenty of them. And it's true that we need to make maybe an effort.
And you're going all around the world to help carry that
I'm telling
message.
About these. I will tell about Grégoire now, because I saw that his application is funny.
Oh, now he's gone, so you don't,
Yeah, no, okay, I won't. Okay.
Yeah, we'll catch him later.
But no, I think it's good if we tell about what's going well instead of always
and we are
complaining about what's going
and
not.
we are and Jean-Baptiste was just there, and we are
positive thinking.
You have a question here.
I only take positive thinking.
So only positive questions, please.
Oh yeah, it's one of those. Mrs. Minister, good afternoon. I'm Stéphane Borberg, and I am a start-upper, CEO of JobsBooker. We have created a vaccine against unemployment, a digital vaccine, actually. And we have already seen people of your ministry. Did you say yes? And I have a single question for you. What are you doing next week? Because I'm completely open to see you and to make the most amazing partnership, private, public partnership to solve that issue in our country, and we need it, Mrs. Minister.
So just to be sure, you want a date or you want an appointment?
Professional
He wants both.
I couldn't understand that you
married,
want both.
I'm sorry, you are.
I didn't know it was
You're
speed
beautiful.
dating.
If I wasn't married, I probably tried, but actually it's not possible.
Okay, so you want to see Fleur? What the answer to that?
Oh yeah, and we can show all over the world that in France we have a good startup.
That's
okay. Okay, that's a yes then.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Thank you, Fleur. And thank you, Loic. You are the most amazing time shift scheduler I ever had. Thank you.
Yeah, I can manage Fleur's agenda.
That was an easy question.
That's my new job. Let's take a
much.
question. Here, yes, please.
Hello, I'm Glenn Losanto. I'm not going to ask you
Where
for
are you
a date.
from?
I'm from England. I'm not going to ask you for a date.
You have two GoPros.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Okay, no, please. That's fine.
Now, I'm going to be your fairy godmother, and I'm going to grant your wish for what the French startup scene will look like in 10 years' time. So can you please describe?
What will
the startup scene look like in 10 years?
And this is, I've granted you a wish, so it can look any way you want it to.
Okay. So my wish is in 10 years' time, we're the world leaders in big data, in Internet of Things, and we can find big tickets if we want to, if we seek for investors, or if we want to raise money. We don't need to go to the States. We can find great VCs in France, and we have a European NASDAQ.
No, but come on, like you have GoPros and like don't fall here.
Come on here.
See, that's the stage. Look, that's what you want to do, I guess. So there you go. Did you have another question for?
I've just forgotten it.
You want me to stand?
You forgot your question.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Well,
no, what I was going to say is, if the
please,
Be my guest.
So we're 10 years in the future, and is your wish to see American entrepreneurs coming to France
also,
to complete their...
Absolutely. Not only Americans, Indians, Chinese, Brazilian, Chilean. I think if you look at the Silicon Valley today, half of the people who have created companies are from foreign origins. So I think one of the secrets of innovation scenes is also to have an ambitious immigration policy. And I'm working, actually, right now, I forgot to mention that, but I'm working on a startup visa so that we can attract talents from all over the world.
Can you believe this? I'm live on stage with a minister.
Yes, you're live on stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Loic.
All right, be careful, though. There is a lot of tech stuff here. All right, another question. Where is here? Would you like to comment? Come here. Come here. No, yeah, we're starting something new. It's the end of LeWeb, so why not?
You know, just be careful. Oh, here we go. Here. Welcome. I love this.
So, my name is Adeline Pilon,
Where are you from?
from Paris.
That's okay.
But I'm proud for being from Paris. So, Fleur, Loic, I have a problem and I need you to solve it. 2 years ago, we created with a friend a stock exchange and a press agency dedicated to the art market. Today, I need funds to launch the stock exchange called Art Exchange. But I've seen many VCs in Paris, and it's all told me that the ticket was too big for early stage, and I should go to the US, and there I will be more lucky. Then, thanks to La Tribune, I met Aurélie Filippetti, and she told me that she tries to impulse cultural projects for La BPI. So I met La BPI, and La BPI told me that my project, the stock exchange, was too ambitious, was too original for them. So they don't know how to deal with the project. Tonight, I will be rewarded by Christie's for my press agency, which is called AMA, Art Media Agency. But I'm so frustrated because I cannot launch Art Exchange. So what can I do? And I don't want to go to the US. I want that the French art market is declining, but I love Paris and I love art and I want Paris.
Loic was just about to invest some money, so
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
probably
right.
can make you a nice offer.
Yes. I love how Fleur solves problems with my wallet.
I'm a sort of platform, you know, it's the disintermediation.
You were
actually.
saying you had billions earlier.
Yeah, so you need to come and talk to my team.
Let's
So it's not an immediate solution, but
Yeah.
it's maybe a
So
way
next week.
towards a solution. Yeah, next week. Okay, everybody comes next week to my office.
Oh, wow.
Open table.
You had nothing to do next week, right?
Yeah, I have nothing to do.
Fleur
at
was
any time.
so happy that she came at LeWeb. Now she's going to finally...
so we can set up.
So you prepare your pitch, and you can.
I have everything.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
great.
Deal.
Well,
I have everything. So how can we arrange it?
Yeah, we'll do that afterwards.
Fleur has
No problem.
Thank you very
But
much.
But
actually,
it's a
can you give
promise.
it to
Sure.
my team there? Thank you. Careful. Great. Next question. Here. You can stay here or come. At this point, it doesn't matter. Please.
Hello, I'll stay here. It's
Okay.
nice to meet you, Matteo
Hi.
Mazzeri. I'm Italian, but I'm actually living in France, in Annecy.
Where are you from?
I'm from Milano, but I've been living in France for some time.
Great.
So, and while you were talking before, it was like you were reading my mind. It was
I
really
was, actually.
amazing. I have been trying to get a movement from my little town in Annecy, where I would like to get students really early on to be inspired and to really get some feeling of the entrepreneurship mindset. And everybody keeps saying, well, you'll never get anything with education. You know, it's really, really hard to get things moving. So I would really like to find ways to get some dynamic to get this movement really early on into education by inspiring and creating a worldwide, ideally, but starting from France, network whereby children, you know, would be exposed to success stories or failure stories and share their comments between each other and get everybody together with eventual people founding their ideas. I mean, it's still, I'm sorry, I'm really having trouble talking clearly, but it's a wonderful idea, and
Did you get the question?
No.
Oh,
No.
What's the question?
More of a suggestion, no?
It's a suggestion.
No, it was just some reconforting.
All right. Thank you
Oh,
very much for your thoughts.
into my project.
Thank
Do
you.
we have a question? Someone was up there. Well, how about up there? Can you run really fast? Up there. Raise your hand. Not. We'll fix it. Keep your hand up, please, so we see where you are. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Duke. I'm a big French tech aficionado. You mentioned about having a European Nasdaq. and we discuss a lot about getting funding. How about a European angel list? I'm a big proponent of a crowdfunding, and I have the feeling that we have a chance, you being the government, have a chance to leapfrog the US into developing the Jobs Act, etc. Maybe this is a chance for us to move faster and get a lead on financing, on our financing behaviors.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think we have a great opportunity in supporting crowdfunding, because regulation is there is absolutely there is some regulation in the States and Italy, in various countries, but we have an opportunity in France to be a sort of El Dorado for crowdfunding, and that's what I'm working on right now, and I will make my proposals in the first days of January. And if you look at what's happening in the States, there are some restrictions, because if you're an investor, you cannot invest more than 5% of your income in crowdfunding, whether it be equity, loan, or donations. So it's a restriction. And I really think we can, in France, be the country that is really at the vanguard of crowdfunding, and that's really my ambition. So wait until... I made a massive online consultation on that. I had more than hundreds of proposals to contributions on that proposal, on that bill. And so if you can wait until about mid-January, I will make proposals. And I am very, very ambitious for crowdfunding in France. $3 billion were raised through crowdfunding in 2013 up to now. And it's doubling every year. So there's a huge potential. And I want to take advantage of this potential for France, for French tech startups.
Okay. We'll take a last one because we're out of time. But so you pick the question, Fleur. How about that?
Okay, I don't have my glasses, so.
So raise. Okay. How about you?
Yeah, you.
Right here.
Hi, my name is Jane. I'm from Russia.
From Russia.
Yeah.
Привет, как дела?
Привет. Don't you think that all these European countries like UK, France, Finland, all of them have their strengths and weaknesses. So you said that France can be the leader in big data and crowdfunding. UK guys are great in design and media. Like Finland is great for backend technologies. Russia has great developers. Don't you think that we should think really not about how to make France great or UK great or Russia great, but we can collaborate actually to create the common ecosystem, and it's a huge market, and it's a lot of people here, and huge amount of talents, but the countries are very small, and each has their own regulations, their own restrictions. It's hard to move from one market to another. So don't you think that we should work on just removing these borders for startup ecosystem? Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, and I really tried to push that vision, because there was a European Council by the end of October with the head of states and head of governments of the European countries about digital economy and innovation, and I really tried to push a French position that was very ambitious in terms of creating a European market, European digital market. And I think we need to reinforce cooperation. And if you see today with the collaborative economy, etc., we have new models, even new business models with cooperation, collaboration. It's very important. And I was in Russia maybe 1 month ago, and I discussed actually with the Minister for Telecommunication and Digital Economy in Russia, and we agreed that we need to create synergies and to create bridges between the countries. But you cannot, there is a language difference, there are boundaries, even cultural boundaries, but it's true that we need to remove them, because, as I said before, innovation relies on the mixing of talents. And the more you mix people from different origins, people who have different backgrounds, designers, engineers, developers, Russian, French, German, the more you have creativity, actually. So I'm really trying also in my work, in my job, to create these synergies and these bridges between the countries, and to try to make the best of this meetup, actually, between. So you're right.
All right, I think we're unfortunately out of time. I appreciate that you have so many questions, Fleur. That's really great. But we have that's Grégoire coming back. Grégoire, come around. Fleur, can you convince Grégoire to stay?
Yeah, I have a plan.
Because
concerning you, he doesn't want to sit here actually because he's afraid.
I told my team that we should have. You should have Grégoire coming back to.
Yeah.
So because he wanted.
I plan to tie you to my heater in my office. How do you like that?
Yeah, no problem.
Ah, you see? For every problem, a solution.
So Grégoire, you're staying in France?
No, I think we're going to...
For the second round table, we will find investors in France to have him back. When the company has 500 people,
that's right.
In 2 years or 3 years, you'll come back, okay?
And you have Jacques-Antoine Grandjean and Xavier Niel, and I mean, you can make your entire round like right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do it on stage.
Yeah,
Are you sure? Did you sign already?
Yeah.
But then I can put 50K as well. No? Okay, all right. All right. Okay. Well, we're out of time. We're going to move to the startups from... did you have anything to say, Grégoire?
No, that's okay.
For your defense?
For defense.
No, I just have to say that I'm not a good example because the product we've got is especially US-oriented, user in the US. The culture of music video is from the US. I mean, everything is from the US. So we are not like representative of... I understand why it was difficult for French investors to take early decisions. And I think it's not because I go there that it's... I mean, it's... Media has to be made in the US and not in France. And it's not a question of money or anything. I could have made another startup and...
But why? Why? Because you... Why? What, you want to be worldwide? You think it's going to be more... Like it's going to be faster there?
Yeah, but music labels are there. People who know how to scale social networks are there. Users are there. I mean, you look at Facebook or Instagram or Vine, the users are in the US. This is our market. It's not in France. In France, it's slower.
I think we've lost that one.
Yeah, but he will come back one day.
Yeah, but I love France and I love Paris, and I will be back to Paris one day because I love it.
But you have to love the ambition also that he has worldwide.
No, but you know, I don't have any problem with the fact that if a company feels that the market is somewhere, it could be in Japan or it could be in Asia because they are also very early adopters in terms of media and mobile, etc. So I don't have any problem. But the thing is, it must not be the only solution for companies to go abroad. So if some of them need to go abroad to grow and to achieve something, it's fine with me. I mean, we have no closed boundaries. So.
And you know, Bradley Horowitz, the head of Google Plus yesterday, was saying, you know, we see this on a tens of years kind of scale. We have time,
true.
So
it's true.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Fleur, that was a great exchange. I think you're coming back for the startup competition finals in like half an hour. So thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you in a bit then.
Sure.
Thank you, Fleur.
Thank you.